Hello everyone, my name is Pandey Septiari from 7E. I would like to explain about three topics about business English. There are telephone know-how, answering machine etiquette, and speaker phone and conference call etiquette. First, I would like to explain about telephone know-how. The telephone is communicative device that most useful in communication and it's effective to be used in conducting business. A quick call in telephone can clear up question, incompatibility, giving a comment, to thank or apologize, to order material, moreover to do banking. Therefore, it's important to know how to use it such as making call, taking call, and handling call. First, making calls. There are some rules in making calls. First, state your name and to whom you want to speak. For example, you can do like this. Good morning, I'm Bruce calling. Could I speak to Sheila Smith, please? Well, that is how you start if you make a call. If you said clearly, the receptionist will be easily to connect the call to the guest and the guest also doesn't need to ask who the call is from. For example, the receptionist will say, Good morning, Mr. Smith. There's Mrs. Ann Bruce on the line for you. Okay, the second rule is you have to remember to make a note with whom you speak on the phone if you leave message to the receptionist. So later you can say to the person you referred that you left a message to the receptionist named Mia, for example. The other rules is check whether it's suitable moment for the person you've called to chat. For example, avoid to call someone in lunchtime, on Sunday morning, or if you as a receptionist or assistant who knows your employer activity, such as they are in meeting or they are on the way, don't call them at that time. Next, the fourth rule is related with the previous point. Don't call someone who are driving. Someone who is driving must not speak on a handled phone. You'd better to ask first before you make a call. For example, is now a good time for you to chat about? So if they say that they can't to talk, you have to find out when would be a convenient time to call. So the next rule is don't phone a business colleague at home. Phone colleague at home is impolite, but if you must call them at the moment and your colleague has given you a number, call them in a decent hours. And the last rule is don't make a private call during you are working. It's not fair and it's annoying for everyone around you if you are involved in long conversation when they are working. It will encourage the others to do the same, so there will be little work is being done. So now let's move to the next slide. It's about how to answer call. So in answering call, you should say greeting, then you should always smile as you pick up the telephone. So when you are smiling, when you have a call, and the tone of your voice will be friendly and happy, even you are stressed. And then you also need to answer the phone within 3 rings. When you answer the phone more than in 3 rings, the person who phoned you will might become impatient and assume you are busy at that moment, or they assume you don't want to have a business with them. Next, you should keep a reliable pen near the phone and it's along with a memo pad. So when there is important information or information that need to be followed up, you can make a note to remind you. The other thing you should do is mentioning your name and your company's name when you are answering the phone. It's aimed to make them don't need to ask with whom they speak, and you need to mention your company to show the identity of the agency receiving the call. This will make easier for the callers to identify that the numbers they are calling is correct. Then, if you are busy and can't answer the phone, you can say you will call them back later. When you said that you will call them back, you should do that. And don't make the caller waiting for many hours, or even worse, you do returning call on the next day because it's impolite. So in this case, you can find out and tell the caller the exact time when you can call back. And those are what you have to do in answering the phone. And in the other case, there are some ways to answer the phone if you are the secretary or personal assistant. For example, open with greeting and say your position. For example, good morning, ordering department to speaking. May I help you? Or if you work specifically for someone, for example, as an assistant, you can say like this: good morning, Mr. Thompson office, Sue speaking. May I help you? Okay, then the second point is when you answer the telephone which is addressed for your employer, you should say the last name of your employer. Even the caller refers to your employer with the first name. But you should not do as what the caller said. But you mention the last name of your employer to show that you respect your employer's position. Then, don't also mention the first name of who you are speaking in answering their phone. It's also impolite to do. So you should mention the last name of who you are speaking with. Okay, now we move to the next slide. It's about how to put caller on hold. So you do a hold call when you have to call or receive the other calls. So in holding the call, you should pay attention to these points. First, ask permission if you want to hold phone for a while. It's for making sure that who you are speaking with is able to wait. Some people are impatient to wait because they feel the time is running very slow and it makes them feel a minute turns into 5 or 10 minutes. And the other points that need to be considered is never sitting on hold for longer than 3 minutes. People are impatient in waiting too long, or they feel that it's better if they do the other works rather than waiting for the holding call. And sometimes they also feel that their call is not important, so please avoid to hold the call longer than 3 minutes. And then, when you take someone off hold, don't forget to always apologize for placing them on hold and thank them for waiting. Okay, those are what you have done in holding someone call. Now we jump to the next slide. It's about leaving a voicemail message. In leaving a voicemail message, you should be brief and explicit. In the voicemail message, it should has who called, where to reach them, why they called, and what they wanted. For example, Mary Robinson calling. I'm out on the road all day, but can be reached on my mobile 040717616. Just reminding you I need those figures on the Bodyworks project before Friday. So that is how to leave a voicemail message. After that, we also need to know how to return call. So you do return call when you miss a call from someone or if you should follow up or give confirmation to the request of the caller. You should do this because if you not call them back, you will look inefficient as the caller must call again and leave another message. And there are 3 points that need to be considered in returning call. There are return the call on the day it made. It's important to do because it shows that you respect the person who called you. As what I said before, you will not look inefficient as the caller must call again and leave another message. So spare your time if you need to return someone's call. For example, you can do return call before lunch or at the end of the day. Second, leave a message if the person is unavailable when you do return call. And the last, there is the calls you have to make. So you need make a note to remind you about what needs to be done or who you need to call. Now, let's move to the next subtopic. It's about answering machine etiquette. So, answering machine etiquette is a type of message that someone made to convey that they are busy or they are doing something. It works when they can't answer the phone. There are some parts that need to be considered in answering machine etiquette. First, be aware with time to call. You must be aware with time in making a call because it's rude to call before 7 in the morning or after 10 o'clock at night. And when you do this, the answering machine etiquette will work. Besides that, speak clearly and as naturally as possible. And if you have an unusual name, say it slowly or spell it if needed. You should do those 2 points to make people who listen to your message understand what you are saying. Okay, now let's move to how to make answering machine message. In your answering machine, your message should give out your name or your phone number. It aims to make the caller know that they phoned the correct number. And here is the example of answering machine message. This is Sonia Lord's phone. I'm not in to take your call, but would you be kind enough to leave your name, telephone number, and a brief message after the tone, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you want to use your phone number, the message will be like this. You are reached 55778899. I'm not in to take your call, but would you be kind enough to leave your name, telephone number, and a brief message after the tone, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So those are how answer you make an answering machine message. Next, there is a difference in making an answer machine message if you share an office with someone or with the others in one room. Your answering machine should be like this. This is the office of Alana Haldi and Elliot Smith. Alana can be reached on 018-202-020, and Elliot is in the Melbourne office this week on 035-523-6195. If your call is not urgent, you may prefer to leave a message on this machine after the beep, and Alana will call you back at 8 o'clock. Thank you for calling. So this message gives this caller information about the person who want to talk with, and it guides them to do the action and based on the what they listen to the message. Okay, next we move to the next slide. It's about how to leave message on others answering machine. And here is the example. This is Michelle Smith on 55778899. It's 3 p.m. Thursday, 26th of April, and I'm trying to catch up with Peter Brown. I wonder if he could ring me later this afternoon, please. So in the message above, there are some points that you need to do in answering others, answering machine. First, identify yourself and give your number first. As what I said before, it makes the person know who you are. Then, state the date and time is needed to show when the call was made. And the last, avoid only mentioning your first name. You can't mention only your first name because there will be other people has the same name. So it will waste time to identify you from the other associates who have the same name. But in the other case, if you are unwilling to mention your last name, you can say where you work and in which department, so the others will know which Michelle is you. For example, this is Michelle from the Food and Beverage Department of Sheraton Brisbane. My number is 55778899. It's 3 p.m. on Thursday, 26 April and I'm trying to catch up with Mr. Brown. I wonder if he could return my call, please? Okay, you can do like that in answering others, answering machine. Now we move to the next subtopic. It's about speakerphone and conference call etiquette. Okay, when someone make a call, they can use speakerphone, but speakerphone should not be used carelessly. You should not use it because of laziness or you want to do the other things while speaking to someone on the phone. Besides, it's not polite. You also disrupt the people around you. And if you want to use the speakerphone, you should pay attention in this point. First, ask permission to the person you are speaking to use speakerphone. You can ask permission if you think that other people need to hear about what they are talking about and they might be can add something. So you need to explain about that and ask permission to use it. Second, you can close the door. You can use speakerphone in a room so you will not interrupt the others. And if you need to convey information about the information you get after doing the conference call, you can inform them after the conference call ends. And in this case, when not all everyone are included in the conference, it's responsible to sum up the result of the conference call. And if there is something need to add, and it's essential that a response in writing be sent to all parties as soon as possible to consolidate what was mentioned during the call. Well, now we move to the next slide. It's about some tips in doing conference call. First, make sure you are punctual and at the phone at the time. Then identify yourself each time you speak. And be concise and avoid long-winded explanation. Then sit near the microphone or have it turned to face you. Don't be monotonous when you speak. Don't speak under the top of others and don't make asides or snide comments under your breath to those sitting near to you while something else speaking. Then minimize other noise in the room and thank whoever organized the teleconference at the end of the call. So those are some tips in doing conference call. And so I think that's all about the material that I need to explain to you. Thank you.